Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing some Ice Spice and Nicki Barbie nails. So to start off, I'm applying a base coat and I'm going to be using some decals, and I am going to be doing some hand painted nail art along with making some charms for this set. We're going to start with the easiest part, which is applying the decals. So I'm cutting out these three decals right here because I'm going to apply them to three nails in the same order. So I make these on transparent paper, and that just basically means I have to use a white base color on my nail for the decal design to show up. So my nails are actually in the lamp right now while I'm cutting the decals out. Sometimes I use white paper to print out the decals, and with white paper I don't have to use a white base color. I could use any color on the nail, but these are transparent. So after I finish cutting them out, I'm just going to dip them in water for about 3 to 5 seconds, and then I am dabbing off the excess water, and I'm going to just slide off the decal right onto my nail. So here I'm just placing the decal onto the nail, moving it around until it's placed how I like it. As you guys can see, I already prepped the other decals. That way I could do all three of these nails at the same time. So I'm just sliding the decal off the backing, placing it on the nail, also making sure it kind of lines up as best as possible. Because this is one photo that I made into three decals going across three nails, just wanted to make sure it lined up properly as best as it could. So after I was done with those decals, I'm just applying a white gel polish to the remaining nails on this hand. I am going to do some designs, but I just like to apply a white base color before I do anything else. So here I'm applying two decals to the other hand, and basically I did the same process. I applied a white base coat. These decals, actually I reprinted more because I messed some of them up. So these decals here actually did not have a transparent background. They had a white background, so I didn't really need a base color, but I had already prepped my nails with a white base coat. So here randomly, I just decided I wanted to do a little something more. So I'm applying a pink glitter color underneath all of the nails, so it has like a little peekaboo surprise underneath it. So I applied 2 layers of a pink glitter color, and then I did apply a top coat onto it as well. So I did do that to all of the nails. You guys will see how that looks later on. We're gonna move on to the next nail, and I'm making this a pink checkered board design. So basically I'm drawing some lines horizontal and trying as best as possible to make sure it's the same amount of space in between each line. And then I let that cure, and then I did go back and draw some vertical lines and let it cure. And then I'm going back in and filling in every other square with the pink color. So although I did like this pink, I decided I needed a brighter pink. So I decided that actually after I filled in the entire checkerboard. So I ended up going back in and making a different pink color and going over all of the pink I just did with that bright pink color this here. So you see I already cured that light pink color, and then right after I cured it I was like, no, I need it a little bit brighter. So we're just gonna fill all of that in with this bright pink. So after I was done with the checker design, I put that nail to the side. I'm not done with it yet. Basically, I am drawing the designs on the remaining nails so that I have the base design, and then after that I'm going to be doing some charms. So I'm going to be making the charms and adding the charms to those nails. So I'm going to start off making a bow charm. I am molding polygel on top of a piece of plastic, and after I'm done molding the shape, I just put it in my lamp, allow it to cure, and as you can see, it peels right off the plastic with no problem. And then I can go in and start shaping it so that the edges are like cleaner and neat. If there's a side that's uneven, I can just file it until everything is even and to my liking. So after I was done shaping it, I went back in with that same polygel and just took like a little ball of it and put it right in the center of that bow. And then I allowed that little ball to cure. And I used pink polygel even though I have like clear and white polygel because I thought I was going to keep the bow pink. I don't really know what I was thinking because this looks very plain. So I went back in, I applied a base coat first, and then I applied a white gel polish to the entire bow. I did have to apply one more layer of that white just because I wanted it to be really solid. And then I'm going in with some Chanel decals. So I'm just applying this decal to the sides of the bow, and the center I'm going to be polishing black. So these are water slide decals, and I just dipped them in water for a few seconds, slid them off the backing, applied it to the nail, and then applied a top coat. Now I'm going to be applying that charm to my pink French nail. I just used a nail file to slightly rough up the surface of where I'm going to be placing that charm. And I usually use like a builder gel to attach my charms to the nails, but I'm going to be using the same poly gel just because I have it right there available and because I know it'll definitely keep my nail charms on my nails. So after I applied that charm, I just let that cure. Actually, I applied that charm upside down, so I had to like pry it off later on and put it back. But yeah, basically I applied that bow charm to the French design nail. And now we're moving on to another charm, which is going to be shades because these are Barbie nails and we need some cute accessories. So I'm going to be making some shades using that same poly gel on a piece of plastic. And I use all type of tools to shape what charm I'm making as long as it works. Like I'm going to use it. So you guys will see me using like dotting tools, regular brushes, yellow wood sticks, whatever works, okay, whatever gets it done. So I'm going in with this dotting tool and I'm just making a dent on each side of the shades to create like that little lens area. So after I'm finished shaping the shades, I went ahead and cured it. And then after it's fully cured, I can take it off the plastic and shape it and such. But first, before I do that, I'm gonna polish like the insides. The insides of the shades where that little lens area is sort of thin. So I'm just kind of making like a better foundation for it. So I don't have to worry about that when I take the shades off the piece of plastic. So after I was finished doing the black and I cured it, I did go back in and polish the rest of the shades a different pink. And I used multiple layers of that black to make sure the inside was a really solid black. And then I just applied a top coat, and you guys will see this charm a little later on. But we're going to move on to the next charm. And I'm going to be making like some little nameplate type charms. So originally I wanted to make like Nicki and Ice Spice name very similar to like the Barbie logo, but it just seemed like it was going to be a little bit too much work that I wanted to put in. So I just decided to make these nameplate looking things, which look similar to the Barbie logo, but they're just not exact. So I basically molded a, I don't even know what type of shape you would call this, but a shape that is long enough to fit Nicki's name with the polygel. And here I am just filing off the excess polygel that's a little thin and just cleaning up the edges some. I did also polish it pink, as you guys saw when I was like molding it. I used a like coral color polygel, so I did polish it pink. I used two layers and I had to like mix different colors to actually make that pink. Then once I was finished filing and making sure that pink base was solid, I just went in with some white polish and I wrote Nikki's name on it. After I finished her name and cured it, I'm just going to go in and cut off that little extra part there that has no wording on it. And I just use some scissors for that. And then I'm going to go in with my nail file and make sure the edges are nice and smooth. Also, again, I was trying to make this look a little bit similar to like Barbie logo. And if you notice on a Barbie logo, it's like rounded underneath some letters. It's not just like straight across. So that is what I was doing here, just rounding off some areas to make it look similar to the Barbie logo. After I was done with the shaping, I just cleaned off all of the dust so that I can go ahead and apply my top coat. So I applied the top coat, let it cure, and then I'm going to attach it to one of the nails. So now I just took the nail charm and placed it against the nail that I was going to apply it on and decided that the nail itself was a little bit too plain. I didn't want to do too much on this nail though, but I needed a little bit something more, definitely needed some more pink. So I just went in with a white gel polish and also a pink gel polish, and I did spray like some alcohol on the nail so it can kind of spread out and just create a real subtle marble design. So after I cured that, I'm just going to go in with some poly gel and apply that Nicki charm to this nail. After I applied the charm and let it cure, I went back in with a glossy top coat and moving on to the next nail. So here are my shades again. That's me just applying a top coat. I'm going to apply it to one of the nails. And actually this nail, I don't know what happened to the footage, but you can see here, I have a pink and white striped nail. I mean, this nail is kind of self-explanatory. It's just pink stripes. I don't know what happened to the footage, but all I did was draw a few pink stripes on this nail. So I'm applying those little shades that I made with polygel. So I'm going to let that cure and now move on to the next charm. This next charm is going to be a bag charm and I'm going to be applying it to that same nail that I applied the shades onto. So using the same polygel, and you guys might see me spray something on the polygel when I'm shaping it, and that is just rubbing alcohol. So I use rubbing alcohol as a slip solution when I'm using polygel. If you used polygel before or if you've seen it, you know that sometimes polygel kits will like come with a slip solution, but if you don't have any or you run out, you can use rubbing alcohol. That's literally all I've ever used for a slip solution because polygel definitely is sticky to work with. So now I'm making a handle for my little purse, and this is the gel I was talking about earlier. It's like a 3D, maybe even like a 4D gel, I think it's called, but it's way easier to use than any other product, in my opinion, when it comes to making charms or 3D designs because you can literally mold this stuff in your hand. It sort of gives the feeling of using clay, and it is a little bit sticky, but not as sticky as polygel. Just sprayed a little bit of alcohol onto it, and it's really easy to work with. If you want to make like ball charms or like heads or something like that, it's really easy to just literally roll a ball of it into your like the palms of your hand, and just super easy to work with. You do have to cure it. So after I applied that little piece for my handle, I did cure it in my lamp and it hardens. And then as you can see here, I'm just polishing my baggie. I made the handle black and the bag is pink. So after I finished polishing my bag, I cured it and put it off to the side because I am not quite done with it yet. Here I am taking some polygel and molding the teeniest, tiniest heart. I'm surprised I made this heart as fast as I did because it was so small. But I want to do a little dangling charm for my bag. So that is how it looks cured. I just applied some base coat, then I applied a black gel polish over it. And I also made a little strap. You guys will see that. But I made the charm black. And then here, because my bag looks so plain, I just added 4 rhinestones to it. Honestly, I wanted to do the bag a little different. Like I was thinking of making it quilted and all sorts of other designs, but I just didn't feel like doing it. Honestly, I was like over it. I did these nails over the course of a few days, and really what I was over was how indecisive I was with certain things. So I just kept the bag like that. I think the little baggy charm looks so cute. I did apply the little dangling charm with a piece of polygel. And then, of course, I just have to just keep adding things. So I added 2 little rhinestones to the corners of the shades. I think it made it look a little bit cuter. And also it kind of matches like the bag. So I just applied two teeny tiny rhinestones right in the corner of those shades. And then I applied a top coat to this entire nail. And we're going to move on to yet another charm. So this charm is going to be Ice Spice nameplate, the same way I did Nicki's name. And because I already knew how I wanted it to look, this one was a little bit easier to make, like faster to make. So I just made it a little bit taller, and I also made the edges a little bit scalloped, like rounded, so I don't have to do too much filing after it was fully cured. And then after it's cured, I am cleaning off the edges there. You can see I had to make things nice and smooth. So after I was done filing the edges, I'm just going to go in with a pink color. And I used two layers of this pink, and also all of the pinks I used in this set, I customize. So this one is actually a little bit of a different shade than the Nicki plate I did. I wanted them the same colors, but I ran out of one of the pinks that I used to make the customized color. So I just had to make do with what I had. Also, I kind of don't care as long as the whole set is just full of pink colors. So after I applied the pink, I'm going in and just writing Ice Spice in white gel polish. So I make just a general outline of the letters, and then I always go back in and fill it in and then cure. And then here I am applying a top coat. I did the same thing with this nail as I did with the Nicki nail. I just made a little bit of a marble design and then applied the charm on top using polygel and then applying a top coat to the entire nail. So for the last nail, I'm going to be making two chains. One of the chains are going to say barbs and the other is going to say munchkins. I took that 3D gel, made a small rectangle shape, polished it pink, wrote barbs on one, wrote munchkins on the other, and then I attached silver chains to both of them. I drilled holes in the nail so that I can attach the chains, and I was going to leave them hanging like that, but it was getting a little annoying, so I ended up gluing them down to the actual nail. And this is the final set. They are just so super pink and girly, and I love them so much. But that is all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any questions. I do have these decals and more at my website and also on my Etsy shop. You can check that out in the description below. And I will see you guys next time.